Good morning, good morning. Welcome to RidgeLife Lessons on the Ridge. Um, as happens every Sunday, when the first time I tried to go in, it locked up and I had to go back out. I've been live 5 times since and haven't had that trouble. Why on Sundays? Y'all are probably getting tired of hearing that, but awesome. Good to have everybody here. We are live on the front porch of the farmhouse and been chatting with everybody in the chats. This is so awesome. I'm going to put you all back up on the laptop here. Thank you all very much for joining us. Get this all situated. I do apologize. There we go. Awesome. Good morning. Good morning. We've got the Corgills in the house. I believe it's Chad. And we have Kevin from Lazy Pond Farm, Lauren, my awesome moderator extreme, and we have Linda Wall. I believe Buckmaster Outdoors was in earlier. Let's see who else is coming. Jason from Homesteading Northern Michigan with his awesome sawmill. Congrats on that, buddy. Jason Avers, good morning, good morning. Love the Star Wars reference in your latest video. Good job, buddy. That was awesome. You can take gardening and all that stuff and put in the humor and the satire. It was awesome stuff, man. That's some good video creating there, Jason. Good stuff. Awesome. So come on in to our Lessons from the Ridge. We are doing Waiting on the Lord. I believe this is part 4. Whoa, Kevin, what are you doing, man? Oh, appreciate you, buddy. $20 super chat to help out on the Freedom Tour 2020. I'll be talking about that a lot later, so thank you, Kevin. You're too amazing. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate that. Wow, that was unexpected, Kevin. Appreciate you, bud. Everybody go check out Kevin from Lazy Pond Farm. Got a new baby, beautiful baby. Wife's doing great too. Got a beautiful farm. Got his garden going on. He's got quail. He's got quail eggs. He just had a video out where he cooked RidgeLife a quail egg sandwich, and I'm still waiting for it to show up in the mail. But I expect it to be coming soon, Kevin. So thank you very much. Oh, it looked delicious too, bud. So go check out Kevin at hashtag Lazy Pond Farm, one word. Awesome guy, man. Awesome, awesome, awesome guy. Yeah, pretty funny. So we're finishing up Waiting on the Lord. And I made it into, well, I didn't make it. It's a long series, so you had to wait to get to the end. Pretty crazy, huh, how all that works out. And I think we're going to end on a good note today. It's not that any of it's not good, but this is uplifting. You know, waiting on the Lord, there are good things in the end, good things to those who wait. That is for sure. K&R Destinations, good morning. It is kind of muggy out here this morning. We've had, you know, beautiful weather, and then it storms and rains in the evening, which is fine to me. You know, be beautiful in the daytime, storm and rain at nighttime. I love it that way. But it's a little bit muggy out here. It was almost 90 yesterday. It was hot. So I went to Nashville yesterday to get the Ducati, the motorcycle, out of the shop, ready for the Freedom Tour. And I tried a bunch of different live streaming to live stream my ride from Nashville to Memphis. And you know, because I'm using an older GoPro that doesn't have the capability to go straight to live stream from the GoPro app. So I'm using an older one with some bypassing software and stuff, and it worked here at the house. Did not work for me in Nashville very well. So I got a couple other ideas. I definitely want to be able to do some live stream on the motorcycle though. So I rode home yesterday, didn't record any of it because I planned on live streaming. Such a beautiful ride home yesterday, everybody. The mountains, the hills in Nashville are gorgeous. They're just rolling and so beautiful, so beautiful. The fields between here and there, green. Most of the winter wheat's all gone mostly. There's new crops in the field, sprouts coming up. Just gorgeous rolling hills, the green trees, the wildlife. It was just a beautiful ride home yesterday. About 2.5, 3 hours ride from Nashville to Memphis. Beautiful. Gary B, good to see you. First time to your live, good morning. I appreciate that. We're doing, we do Lessons on the Ridge on Sunday. It's a spiritual time for us. We get up Sunday morning. You know, we can't, most of the churches are closed. Some of them are opening back up. That's a good thing. And I appreciate you coming. So that's what we're doing here today. K&R Destination says, God's creation is so beautiful, especially seen on the bike. You're right, because you're so in touch with it. You feel it. You interact with it. You definitely interact with the bugs, I'll tell you that. Kevin says he's sitting on the porch right now. Yes, it is a good time to sit on the porch and enjoy this. That is for sure. Um, let's see. So, we're talking about the Freedom Tour. I'm just letting more people come in here, everybody, before we get into our lesson today. But I do want to mention the Freedom Tour. So here at Ridge Life, wife and I, Starla, we're going to do a motorcycle tour of a lot of our friends in the homesteading, YouTubing community. We're going to cross Arkansas. We're going to go eastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, across Louisiana, Mississippi, maybe hit some Natchez Trace Parkway, and meet some awesome people in Mississippi, and head back home to the Ridge. It's going to be an awesome, awesome time. We're just working on all the logistics and hotels and just timing. Because people are a lot of the essential people. Like Whitney Corgill, she works. Of course, a lot of y'all work, and it's going to be a week-long tour. So we'll be coming through, noon, 2 o'clock, a lot of times during the week. For this tour, so I don't want to inconvenience anybody. So the wife and I, we can tour around till you get off work, but just trying to get all the logistics and everything done. So got almost 20 channels set up to visit now. A few more rolling in. I'm having to not turn a couple away. I'm just having to you guys are just outside of our geographic region. To go see you all would end up adding a day, and we can't add a day. We need to get back. So. But if you're on our trek, maybe we can meet up for lunch or something, or meet up at one of the other homesteaders. We're trying to fit in as many as possible. So, so excited, so excited. Make sure I'm not missing. It is a beautiful day. K&R Destination is always a beautiful day when we can worship the Lord freely. So thank you very much for being here. See, K&R Destinations, awesome. Jason from Homesteading Northern Michigan. Haven't seen Jason's mom here, D-Gad. She usually comes in also. Again, thanks to Kevin from Lazy Pond Farm for the $20 super chat. Kevin, I'll add you to the super chat shout out for our next regular live. I don't do those on the Lessons from the Ridge, but I will be adding it to there. Kevin just gave a donation for our trip. I sure appreciate it. Not requested, not solicited, but I do appreciate it. We will make sure everything goes to good causes. We're not in this for income. But if it helps pay for it during this time, it sure helps, because the income is a little bit lower right now. That's for sure. We haven't made steel in almost 3 months at work. I'm still working, but right now we haven't made steel in almost 3 months. We've been doing a lot of maintenance, a lot of preparation for it. But we are going to start back up this week. I believe Wednesday we're going to start back up, making some good old American steel, and we'll see how things are starting to improve. Kevin says, "Thanks, Tim. Not needed, I'm just here for the fun." Yes, I appreciate you, buddy. So, like I said, we haven't been running at work for almost 3 weeks. But our company, we're a steel industry. We don't lay anybody off. We've been making steel for over 60 years, called Nucor Steel, N-U-C-O-R. Nation's largest steel producer. We're also the largest recycler in the United States. All of our steel comes from scrap metal. But again, we #1 steel producer in America. We haven't ran in 3 weeks. We don't lay people off. We've never laid people off since we've been making steel for 60 years. You can't say that for most steel companies. They shut their mill down. They lay people off. When the orders come in, they start it back up, and they bring back people if they have to. Our company did something very unique. I've been with our company for 23 years, and they've been in operation for about 60. Our company did something this period that I've never seen, and I've never seen another company do in the steel industry. They did a general minimum, or how did that go? Guaranteed minimum pay, GMP. What they did was they said, we're shut down not because of the steel market, because of global recession or whatever. It's because of a world pandemic. So what we're going to do is take some of the awesome money you helped us receive, because our company gives back 10% of the profits in profit sharing every year. We're going to take some of those profits, and we're going to guarantee your pay for about 3 months while we're waiting for this thing to go crazy. We're going to guarantee your pay at 70% your normal pay. Now, 2/3 of my pay is based on production. So if we're not producing, I'm only getting paid just base salary, base hourly pay, which is crazy low, because 2/3 of our pay is bonus on production. So this company said that we're going to pay you 70% of your normal pay while you're not producing anything. Straight loss. For a steel company, that's amazing. So, and I'm not doing a commercial for Nucor. I'm just really proud of that company. And we're waiting for the steel orders to come in. And it looks like things are starting to pick up. we're guaranteed this pay through like the second or third week of June, and it's just amazing. I just want to thank Nucor so much for taking care of its people like that. And that's part of the lesson for today, is taking care of your people, waiting on the Lord, what you're going to be doing during that time. Are you going to be productive? Or are you going to sit back and do nothing? Now, we've been shut down for 3 weeks, but still all of us are there getting this minimum pay, and we're making sure this place is ready to run and better than it was before. We're being productive, and that's what's part of our lesson today. We're going to finish up waiting on the Lord, on being productive and all those good things that come to those who wait, because you know it's coming. All those good things that come to those who wait on the Lord. I'm going to see a few more things in here in our chat before we get into the lesson. I want to make sure I'm not missing any good comments, any things that are going on. Buckmaster Outdoors is back. Awesome. Good to have you, buddy. Let's see here. Yeah, it is crazy, isn't it, Corgills? Chad, it's crazy. My husband worked for Norfolk Steel and Metal West. He has heard of your company. Cool, that's K&R Destinations. Yeah, and they said, what? Yeah, that's not normal for a steel company. But we are an employee-based company. It's really about keeping good people, because if you lay people off, they have to go eat. They have to go work. They'll get a job someplace else, and those good people don't come back. They find good jobs. We don't want to do that, so we make sure we don't lay people off. It's not a policy, it's a practice. And so far in 60 years, our practice has succeeded. Gary B, it does sound like a good company. Good to have you here, Gary B. Is this one of the purple babies with antenna, Lauren? Oh yeah, Lauren from Mars. Lauren from Mars is, I didn't know they raised rabbits on Mars, but Lauren, our resident Martian moderator, she raises rabbits on Mars. That's an inside joke, everybody. I hope you all can bear through that. All right, so we're going to get in on our lesson. We'll do a bunch of chit-chat at the end if we have time. We will finish it up today on part 4 of waiting on the Lord. So we're going to start with waiting strengthens, and enables. So in Isaiah is a great book for this. You're going to love Isaiah when it talks about waiting on the Lord. He gives strength to the weary. Y'all know these verses. I know you know these verses. He gives strength to the weary, and to him who lacks might, he increases power. Though youth grows weary and tired, and vigorous young men stumble badly, yet those who wait for the Lord will gain new strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not grow tired. They will walk and not become weary. You probably know of a different version of that, but it all says the same thing. Isn't that just so uplifting? I love that verse. I mean, there's so many songs that include those verses, but they give us hope for what is to come by waiting. So let's look closer into the passage. While there are obviously other causes, continued weariness and lack of strength to carry on may result in failing to wait on the Lord. It's as defined above in our verses. We all become not only physically tired and weary, but emotionally and spiritually depleted. That's human. It really is. But God says part of the solution, along with the good health habits, diet, rest, exercise, etc., is to just wait for the Lord. Isaiah is telling us often that we often grow weary because we fail to wait on the Lord. When we run around in our own strength and operate by our own insufficient patterns and resources, we're going to sooner or later run out of steam. You're limited. Your human capability is limited, and that's designed. It's godly designed that way so that we rely back on Him. The key question is, why don't we wait on the Lord? Often it's because we do not believe sufficiently in God and all that He is. It's just like the Old Testament. It's just even like the New Testament with the prophets. I mean the apostles. They were with Him, and the moment He's gone, they falter. It's like, how can you do that? And here we are today with the gift of the Spirit in us, and we still falter in our belief in Him, and our trust in Him, and our faith in Him. And we all say, we've given our lives over to Christ, and we put our faith and trust in Him. But even though we say that, it is still possible to lose faith, to lose assurance in Him for a moment, for a time, because the enemy does that. The enemy he can't possess us as Christians, as saved Christians, but he can cloud our minds and get us off on sidetracks of humanly desires and humanly natural items. He gets us over there and we get all flustered up about what's going on in our human lives, and we forget our purpose of waiting for the return of Christ. So, Isaiah said the key question is, why don't we wait? It's Isaiah 40 is a chapter designed to bring comfort to its readers. Let's never forget, God is the God of all comfort. He wants to comfort his people, but that doesn't mean he always removes the source of our pain. This chapter is written against the background of 39 chapters announcing judgment against Israel, Judah, and the nations. Israel would suffer and go into captivity. In fact, even this captivity was a result of God's love. But later, God would take Israel back to the land, bring forth a Messiah, deal with their sin problem, and one day establish the promised kingdom. That is the gospel in a nutshell. It is Old Testament prophecy and New Testament realization of the return of the Messiah, of the giving of the Messiah, and eventually in Revelation, the return of the Messiah. In the meanwhile, there's not only comfort of what God would do, but strength for the present through who God was and is for us today. Oh, is Tina in here? Hey, Tina, good to see you this morning. Love those cook kitchens. Those things are awesome. I didn't get a chance to see your live yesterday afternoon. I was heading back from Nashville, but I did watch it later. Awesome, and looking forward to your road trips too, Tina. Good to see you. Good morning, Grandma Carol. There she is. Lauren, there's Mama. I went back and watched that, by the way. It's good to see you, Tina. So Isaiah 40 is also the Behold Your God chapter. 6 sections call on the reader to behold or lift up their eyes to see God. People not only need the Lord, they need to possess the constant vision of their God in all wonder of his being. Kind of like my motorcycle ride home yesterday. It was just so, I thank my mom so much. I could have just trailered the motorcycle back, but Mom went up to Nashville with me and in the SRT, and got the motorcycle and I drove it back and just had this wonderful solitude ride with just me and the Lord on the way home, and it was such a blessing. So thank you, Mom, for doing that. So this chapter contains 23 questions challenging us to calculate the greatness of God, to evaluate our understanding of God, and to realize nothing can compare to the God of the Bible. It demonstrates the effect that this should have on our daily lives, in our attitudes and our actions. Nothing or no one has God's wisdom or knowledge or power, no nation, no philosopher, no ruler, and certainly not any man-made idols. No one instructs him. No one counsels him. And he cannot be compared to any likeness created by man, which likeness would only distract from his infinite being. Not even the vast heavens can compare. They are his creation. He marked them off like the span of a man's hand and stretches them out like a curtain or like a tent which men dwell. He sits above the vault of the earth with its inhabitants like little grasshoppers. But he loves us. He loves us more than grasshoppers. He loves us like the children we are. We act like children on this earth, do we not? I don't care if you're 20 years old, 50 years old, or 80 years old. We act like children daily. Daily we act like children. I know, you ask my wife, Starla, I act like a child every day, and I have to ask for forgiveness. I do. I'm just terrible. I'm a sinner. I'm a human being that sins, and I have to ask for forgiveness from my wife, from my family, and from God daily. Because I fall short every single day. But there is hope. There is hope. I promise you. Let's see. Matt Payne's in the house. Awesome. Awesome. Good to have you here, Matt. Love you. Love you. Lauren, I had 3 turkey hens and peacocks trying to kill me. Oh, boy. Told you about those peacocks, didn't I, Matt? Okay, so Let's look at a problem that is explained for us in Isaiah. Why do you say, O Jacob, and assert, O Israel, my way is hidden from the Lord, and the justice due me escapes the notices of my God? Do you not know? Have you not heard? The everlasting God, the Lord, the creator of the ends of the earth, does not become weary or tired. His understanding is inscrutable. Yes, I said that right. Inscrutable. Didn't even know that was a word. I dare say few Bible-believing Christians would ever openly say this. Indeed, we would emphatically affirm it. Yet we are saying exactly what this verse says every time we ignore God's plan. We ignore his principles of life, resort to our own solutions or plans, whether it is in the form of manipulation of others or by the use of some defense mechanism to protect our fragile egos every time we lose our tempers because life isn't going our way, or in any way run ahead of the Lord. Intellectually, we acclaim God's care, but practically we often deny it. It's like this is written just for me. I did not write these words, but when I read these words, I was like, I could turn off YouTube right now and continue reading this, and it is a word to me because I am doing these things daily. And it's sad. It's sad that any one of us Christians live this way, but it's how we all live. I don't know, some of you are better at it than others, and a lot of us have seasons where we're better at it, where we walk closer with the Lord. But all of this applies to us. It truly does. So verses 28 through 30 challenge our knowledge and how well we are really listening to the word. And then they quickly focus our attention on God as the one who is all-powerful, full of wisdom, and faithful to strengthen us in the struggle of life. The idea of the questions in verses 28 through 29 is this: since God is not only the creator, but the all-preserver of all things, even the heavenly bodies, nations, and individual men, why do you and how can you, as God's people, with such privilege, say and assert what you're saying, that God has forsaken you? We see that all the time, right? God has forsaken us. All that he's done, all that he's created for us, yet we say, why have you forsaken us, O Lord? No information is given as to the precise circumstances under which this complaint was uttered. It is a universal complaint, raised in time of difficulty and adversity. We all, when adversity or tragedy hits, we all, as Christians, rely on prayer to the Lord. And in his way, he always follows through. He promises that. I truly believe that we need more prayer in times of recovery, in times of abundance. As we're recovering from this affliction on the earth this past few months, we need to all have prayer for thankfulness that we all are healthy, or the ones that are healthy. For those that lost people, we need to have prayer for that loss. But for the new growth, all the gardens that are growing, the jobs that are opening back up, the orders that are coming in, the businesses that are opening up, we need to support them. Thank God for them, that they're still there, that they didn't go bankrupt. Give huge tips. Next time you go to a restaurant that you actually get to eat in or even take out, triple that tip, because that person hasn't been working in 2 or 3 months. Blow it up. Blow up the blessings in times of good. Times of good. Don't just pray and be thankful in times of tragedy and strife. When the recovery happens, the blessings of God need to shine upon you and then on to others. Because that's when the true light of Christians comes out, is when you bless others with your light. So it's a question designed to rebuke and expose in order to get them and us to evaluate their thoughts and actions in the light of God's person, his principles, and his promises. Why? So that they can see just how far off they had drifted from anchoring their hope in the Lord and those who wait on him. Wait on him. That's what we're talking about. Let's note the promises of verse 31. So, yet those who wait on the Lord will gain new strength. They will mount up with wings like eagles. They will run and not get tired. They will walk and not become weary. First, there is a general promise. Those who wait will gain new strength. It is the promise of new strength to do what is needed. This would include emotional, moral, spiritual, and undoubtedly physical strength to be included, since this is often affected by our spiritual condition. When we have a spiritual weakening, it affects our relationships, it affects our health, it affects our walk. It really does. So, there are 3 specific promises. They will mount up with wings like eagles. This would seem to point to the ability to rise above the problems of one's life through one's heavenly experience or relationship with the Lord by waiting on Him. They will run and not grow tired. The analogy is running because of the stress involved would look at the strength God gives to handle particularly stressful situations that come in life. Though tougher the situation, the more we need to draw on the Lord and literally cling to Him. So if we compare Deuteronomy with and Joshua, the Hebrew word is to cling, to clave, to keep close. But we also compare other verses that gives us an illustration of meaning of this word. Like the waistband on a pair of trousers or a belt around the waist, to hold tight, to fasten, to adhere to. Thirdly, they will walk and not become weary. Walking portrays our everyday life with all its daily and often humdrum activities and routines. Even when things aren't particularly stressful, we still need to wait on the Lord. And I believe that is really, the daily walk is the most fruitful to me. Yes, when we're in times of adversity, His strength gets us through. Yes, whenever we're in times of great abundance and blessing, we praise and thank Him. But the daily walk, I know that when my kids come down and we just get to sit on the couch and talk or ride around on the Kubota and just do daily things, when that day is over with, I just feel so blessed. I just feel so blessed. When Starla and I were working on the barn, and we spent all day moving lumber and doing all that stuff, we got back to the house. I told her it was a really good day, and I really I really liked working with her. And it's a good thing when you can say that with your spouse, that you can work all day and enjoy that time. And that's how it is with the Lord. I love those daily times where I can just jump on the motorcycle, ride down the road, and thank God for the daily reminders of His existence. KNR says, that reminds me, how was your family day last weekend? We know you were it was awesome. Cousins came down. It was awesome. So we had my kids here on one part of it, and then I had my cousin come down on another part of it, 2 separate days, and it was awesome. I mean, Adelie, my granddaughter, is just so sweet, and of course Alyssa and Morgan, all of us. I didn't get to see Tyler, didn't get to see April or Dylan, but we'll soon, hopefully. So awesome. All right, so what a beautiful and complete way to describe the blessed consequences of waiting on the Lord. That's how we finish that part up. And it truly is. It truly, truly is. So, now we're going to, let's see here. Now, I want to talk about waiting on the Lord. Waiting strengthens and builds character. We've all told our kids that, right? That's character building activity. Oh, Dad, I hate doing this. Why do I got to do this? Because you're building character. Well, it's true. It really is. When we get the kids out to shovel chicken poo, or haul off, dead lumber to a pile, or make them pull logs out of the forest on a four-wheeler, those are all, some kids, would just love that, but some kids think that's just humdrum, and I don't like doing it. It builds character. It is not the funnest thing in the world to some, but it builds character. It makes you a better person for when the times you don't need to be in the muck, you're all dressed up and pretty, eating the nice food at the nice restaurant. It makes a better person for that situation. A person that can shovel chicken poo is a better person when he's eating with his finger held out and 9 forks. I truly believe that when you're in those situations, you're a better person for it to have done those things today. And that's what waiting on the Lord does. It strengthens and builds character. So one of the emphasis in the following three passages is on what happens in us and to us as we learn to wait on the Lord. It builds our character because through the process of waiting, we learn to depend on the Lord alone and to find our source of strength, security, and joy in Him, which is the lesson of the apostle learned in Philippians. But let's look at the Psalms 3 challenges. This is Psalms 37, 1 through 11. Look ahead. So in verse 2, 9, and 10 are absolutely true of everything that is rooted in time and not in eternity. We must wait to learn on God's time and purposes and turn away from human schemes. So we need to look up. An obsession with problems. Yes, we obsess on our problems, with rivals, with painful circumstances, and the consequence of harmful attitudes and strategies cannot simply be switched off, but they can be exchanged and removed by a new focus which rests on waiting on the Lord. So those times we focus on our problems, we focus on the things that have not yet happened that we worry about, and instead of waiting on Him, being with Him, and letting those things happen in due course. It's so much less anxiety ridden to be with Him as you approach those conflicts than to revel in the anxiety and despair of thinking about those conflicts that are going on, regardless of you despair or not. They're going to happen. Wouldn't you rather be joyful with the Lord in those conflicts or than wallowing in your own misery? I know I would. Doesn't mean I don't. I still worry and have anxiety. It's not required of us. It's not required of a human existence to have those conditions, but we do. But there is a cure. There is a cure in the Lord, I promise. So, remember our explanation of what it means to wait on the Lord. It included spending time getting to know and love the Lord. So look at verse 4, delight yourself. This means take delight or find delight. Remember Paul and Silas in prison who were singing and playing? I mean, that's crazy, right? You're in prison, you're singing. So we need to be productive. While you're waiting, don't just sit around and say, okay, the end of the world is coming tomorrow. I'm going to sit here on this porch swing and I'm going to wait for it. It's coming. I'll be here. I'll wait. It's not what we're asked to do. It's not. We're asked to be productive. Excuse me. This is put forth in both positive and negative. This is seen as do good and dwell in the Lord, dwell on the land, and the negatives of verse 1 and 8. Doing good involves living for the Lord and positive ministry. It means living out of deep dependence on the Lord, not fretting, ceasing from wrath and anger, which only leads to evil doing, meaning setting aside our strategies for handling the pain or getting out our desires. Doing evil, the product of fretting rather than waiting and resting, constitutes our human substitutes and false routes to joy. Really happiness, not joy. Joy is found in the Lord, which is a common ingredient. All false routes to joy, happiness, have one thing in common. They represent strategies for living that in some measure we can control. They do not require us to yield our core commitment commitment and independence. God's message is consistent. Utter dependency is the route to satisfaction. Joy in the Lord. We need to have utter dependence on Him, and the joy will be in our lives. Happiness is fleeting. Happiness is what we seek out, what we control. But it always fleets, it always goes, it always leads in more negativity when it's gone. But the joy is not that way. The results of all this is verse 6. The Lord is free to bring forth our righteousness as light and our judgment as the new day. The result is nothing short of godly character with wise choices reproduced in the life of those believers who learn to wait on the Lord. Excuse me. By way of patient and faith, patience and faith, rather than by self-assertion, which is what we do. We self-assert into our daily lives. These are the meek who will inherit the earth. You've heard that, right? The meek is not mean you're assertive and strong. The meek is those who rely on the Lord for their strength. It doesn't mean you're weak. Weak and meek are not synonymous. The meek can be humble, can be knowing that our strength is from the Lord. So it can deliver us from sinful patterns. And now, Lord, for what do I wait? My hope is in thee. Deliver me from all my transgressions. Make me not the reproach of the foolish. So stability with obedience. For the choir director, a psalm of David, I wait patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He brought me up out of the pit of destruction, out of the miry clay. And he sat my feet upon a rock, making my footsteps firm. And he put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear, and will trust in the Lord. And how blessed is the man who has made the Lord his trust, and has not turned to the proud, or to those who lapse into falsehood. Many, O Lord my God, are the wonders which thou hast done, and thy thoughts toward us. There is none to compare with thee. If I would declare and speak of them, they would be too numerous to count. Sacrifice and meal offering thou hast not desired. My ears, though thou hast opened, burnt offerings and sin offerings thou hast not required. Then I said, behold, I come. In the scroll of the book it is written of me, I delight to do thy will, O God. Thy law is within my heart. I have proclaimed glad tidings of righteousness in the great congregation. Behold, I will not restrain my lips. O Lord, thou knowest. That's this beautiful, just a beautiful, beautiful words. So waiting lifts us up out of despair and causes praise to God. It makes us, it gets us out of that hole and allows us to sing praises to him. It truly does. As K&R Destination says, my strength, patience comes from the Lord. It is true. Anything good in us comes from him. Excuse me, I gotta clear my throat. We have 12 people in here, 8 thumbs up, and I thank you all very, very much for joining us on this beautiful Sunday as we finish up Waiting on the Lord. For those that are just joining us, we're finishing up this series on what it truly means to wait on the Lord, and it was kind of fitting for the whole period we've been in. Hey, Inky Savage, there's Gavin. Inky Savage, good to have you, buddy. You know, we waited for this. We waited for the ability to go get a haircut. We waited for the ability to go, you know, to get the things that we wanted, not necessarily needed. The essentials were open, but we want to be able to get in and do those things. And as we open things up, the Waiting on the Lord series is finishing up also. Pretty cool, huh? Tim's World, good to see you, bud. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Love all my channels are in here. You guys are awesome. Very faithful. Appreciate every single one of you for joining us. All right, so we're going to talk here about lifting us up out of despair and causing us to praise God. Getting close to the end here, people. We really are. He brought me up out of the pit of destruction and out of the miry clay, and he set my feet upon the rock, making my footsteps firm. And he put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and will trust in the Lord. Wow. Why are you in despair, O my soul? And why have you become disturbed within me? Hope in God, for I shall again praise him for the help of his presence. Oh my God, my soul is in despair within me. Therefore I remember thee from the land of the Jordan and the peaks of Hermon, from Mount Mizar. Deep calls to deep south of thy waterfalls. And thy breakers and thy waves have rolled over me. The Lord will command his loving kindness in the daytime, and his song will be true within the night. A prayer to the God of my life. I will say, God, my rock, why thou hast forgotten me? Why do I go mourning because of the oppression of the enemy? As a shattering of my bones, my adversities revile me. Adversaries revile me. Why they say to me all day, where is your God? Why are you in despair, O my soul? And why have you become disturbed within me? Hope in God, for I shall yet praise him, the help of my countenance and my God. Why are you in despair, O my soul, and why are you disturbed within me? Hope in God, for I shall praise him, the help of my countenance and my God. We repeat these. We repeat these. The eyes of all that look to thee, and thou dost give them their food in due time. Thou dost open thy land, and dost satisfy the desire of every living thing. Does that sound kind of common, what's going on now? I'm going to read that again. The eyes of all look to thee, and thou dost give them their food in due time. Thou dost open thy land, and dost satisfy the desire of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all his ways, and all kind in all his deeds. The Lord is near to all who call upon him, to all who call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desire of those who fear him. He will also hear the cry and will save them. The Lord keeps all who love him, but all the wicked he will destroy. My mouth will speak the praise of the Lord, and all flesh will bless his holy name forever and ever. When we are in despair or depressed, we moan and groan, whine and complain. But waiting on the Lord gets our eyes focused on him and our glorious future. It puts a song in our hearts and praise on our lips. During this time when we were all secluded, you saw a lot of moaning and groaning on Facebook and YouTube and just, this, that, and the other. A lot of moaning. There was not much waiting on the Lord in those people. It was sad. It was really sad because there were so many good things that could have been done during this time. But instead, we had to moan and groan. Driftful Sakers, good morning. Good morning. Good to have you in here. D. Gads, there's Mama. There's Jason's Mama. Good to have you in here. So, waiting encourages others and gives greater ability to witness. This is so true. For the choir director, a psalm of David, I waited patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. Many, O Lord, my God, are the wonders which thou hast done, and thy thoughts towards us. There is none to compare with thee. I would declare and speak of them. Thy would be too numerous to count. I have proclaimed glad tidings of righteousness in the great congregation. Behold, I will not restrain my lips, O Lord, thou knowest. I have not hidden thy righteousness within my heart. I have spoken of thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from great congregation. Some people hide it. Some people hide the gift. They hide the light within them, and they don't share it. The Great Commission is to share that light, that gift you have within you, to all, even in times of need, in times of stress. Don't hide your light. Let it shine. I promise you, you will be rewarded. And do not take the word of truth utterly out of thy mouth, for I wait for thine ordinances, so I will keep thy law continually forever and ever. May those who fear thee see me and be glad, because I wait for thy Lord, thy word. We must never discount the impact our lives have on others, for both bad and for good. It's hard to have a positive word and a positive witness to others when we haven't been waiting and resting on the Lord ourselves. So David wrote a psalm of praise and petition while surrounded by trouble. First, he praised God for past deliverance and declares the blessedness of those who trust in God. For the choir director, Psalm of David, I wait patiently for the Lord, and he inclined to me and heard my cry. He brought me up out of the pit of destruction and out of the miry clay. Don't you just love that verse? And he set my feet upon rock, making my footsteps firm. And he put a new song in my mouth, a song of praise to our God. Many will see and fear and will trust in the Lord. How blessed is the man who has made the Lord his trust and has not turned to the proud nor to those who lapse in falsehood, the liars. Second, he declares the incomparable nature of God and offers his life in dedication to God and his purposes. Many, O Lord, my God, are the wonders which thou hast done, and thy thoughts towards us, there is none to compare to thee. If I would declare and speak of them, they would be too numerous to count. Sacrifice and meal offering thou does not desire. My ears thou hast opened. Burnt offerings and sin offerings thou hast not required. Then I said, Behold, I come. In the scroll of the book it is written for me, I delight to do thy will, O my God. Thy will is within my heart. I have proclaimed glad tidings of righteousness in the great congregation to all. Behold, I will not restrain my lips, O Lord, thou knowest. I have not hidden thy righteousness within my heart. I have spoken of thy faithfulness and thy salvation. I have not concealed thy loving kindness and thy truth from the great congregation. Wonderful words. I mean, if you haven't heard these words before, if today is the first time you've heard these words, this is our God. This is the God of the Bible. Third, he then brings his present needs before the Lord, but it is in his knowledge of the Lord and his truth which preserve his heart in the midst of his plight. Though thou, O Lord, will not withhold thy compassion for me, thy loving kindness and thy truth will continually preserve me. For evils beyond number have surrounded me. My iniquities have overtaken me. So I am not able to see. They are more numerous than the hairs on my head, which some of us, have fewer and fewer. And my heart has failed me. Finally, he cries for God deliverance and vindication from his enemies. But in it all, though asking God not to delay, his motive is for the Lord be magnified. Therefore, he is committed to waiting on the Lord and his only help and deliverer in God's time. Pleading, but understanding in God's time. Be pleased, O Lord, to deliver me. Make haste, O Lord, to help me. Let those be ashamed and humiliated together who seek my life to destroy. Let those be turned back and dishonored who delight in my hurt. Let those be appalled because of their shame, who say to me, Aha! Let all who seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee. Let those who love thy salvation say continually, The Lord be magnified. Since I am afflicted and needy, let the Lord be mindful of me. Thou art my help and my deliverer. Do not delay, O my God. Very sweet words, very sweet words. So, I'm missing something here. Okay, Lauren said another doe just had 8 kits. Wow, life. New spring brings new life. We're getting past all this craziness. New life is emerging in due time. There is a specific time period for waiting for kits to be born. A specific time period for things to happen. And waiting on them is very, very important because they will happen regardless of you being there or not. Ain't that right, Lauren? It will happen. Whether you're ready or not, it will happen. Let's all be ready, please. So I don't know what you may be going through at the moment, but whatever it is, the challenge of Scripture is to wait on the Lord because unlike, the worldly man and the fleeting world in which we live, the sovereign Lord of the universe loves us with a steadfast love and personally cares for us like a father. David wrote in Psalms, Just as a father has compassion on his children, so the Lord has compassion on those who fear him. For he himself knows our frame. He is mindful that we are but dust. As for man, his days are like grass. As a flower in the field, so he flourishes. When the wind has passed over it, it is no more. It is a place and its place acknowledges it no longer. But the loving kindness of the Lord is from everlasting to everlasting for those who fear him, and his righteousness to children's children. To those who keep his covenant and who remember his precepts do them. The Lord has established his throne in the heavens, and his sovereignty rules over all. We finish up with, Wait on the Lord. Be strong and let your heart take courage. Yes, wait on the Lord. And that was from Psalms 27:14. That was our Lessons from the Ridge, Waiting on the Lord series, 4-part series. And I just think that ended perfect. That was so uplifting. I know I am pumped. I am stoked to go out this week as we celebrate Memorial Day for those that have given their lives for us to do what we're doing today, worshiping the Lord. Memorial Day is an amazing time. It's the onset of the warm season when so much happens. Everybody gets out of their houses, but there's really a purpose for Memorial Day other than just barbecue and friends and family. It's millions have sacrificed their lives in fighting for freedom and democracy. Our republic is here because of those that have sacrificed. And I come from a long line of military men, grandparents, father, uncles, great uncles, all served in the military. I served in the military. And for those that served in the military, I greatly respect you. Thank you very much. For those that have family members that have fallen in the military, today, this weekend, we celebrate them and their sacrifice, and we appreciate your sacrifice in giving us them to help us have this freedom. So thank you very much. So many good things are going on right now. I just hope everybody is fired up in the Lord and in the time we live, because it's so easy to get down. It's so easy to get down in what's going on in the world. But if you read the Bible, it's so easy for them to get down as well. But they lived in a time when God walked the earth. God is walking in your heart now. God was given to you in the Spirit in your heart. That gift of the Holy Spirit is in your body, in your soul, in your mind, and you've got perfect reason to be joyful. You do. And, you may have lost your job. You may be having relationship issues. You may be having health issues. But you have a gift in you that can get you through every single thing bad in your life, because that's what life has been in the past for thousands of years. Bad for those who don't wait on the Lord. But for those that have waited on the Lord, like David said in here, and the psalmist, joy, strength, wisdom, all those things are to be found in the Lord. Memorial Day, for those who gave their lives for our country. That's exactly right. For those who gave all, gave the most that could ever be given. Oh, you're welcome, Corgills. Thank you very much for being here and joining us on this Lessons from the Ridge. We're 52 minutes in here. I know Arkansas Woodcutter is going to be starting up soon. God's timing is perfect, isn't it? I mean, to finish up this series, this is a bazillion pages in 4 parts with 7 minutes to spare, so y'all can get over to Arkansas Woodcutter. God's perfect. God is truly, truly perfect. Inky says somebody's got a birthday tomorrow, so make sure we all can acknowledge that, right? Yeah, let's do that. All right, everybody. I sure appreciate everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful, blessed day. We're going to be doing a couple lives this week. Make sure you check out our channel to see what those are. Yeah, got a couple special things going on. Hopefully I can get my live GoPro stuff worked out. Driftful Saker says, you're still serving people, Tim, with lives like this. Thank you. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, we're going to continue these until we don't. Not really sure how it's all going to work out. We'll see. I know I get so much from it, and it's definitely worth anything that has to happen to make it happen. So I appreciate everyone. And let's see if I missed any conversation here. Oh, thank you, Driftful Sectors. I appreciate it. Make sure I'm not missing anything. If I did miss any questions, I apologize. I'll go back and read and hopefully recontact you. Okay. All right. Well, everyone get over to Arkansas Woodcutter. Tell them RidgeLife sent you, and enjoy your day. Enjoy your long weekend. Reach out to those that are in need. Anybody that's hurting this weekend, anybody that's in despair, give them reason to rejoice. Let them see the joy in you, and maybe they'll see it as well and continue to wait for the Lord. So until next time, I hope everyone has a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you, Kevin, for the super chat. We'll make sure it goes to good use. Everyone have a blessed day. Love you all so much. Go Ridge Life. Peace out.